All right, we are live.
Okay, so we're back with session 2 of Quantum Black, and the cookies are really loud at Jose's house tonight.
Excellent.
So, short recap. This is Bravo team. Ivan is playing Jerry, survivalist, artist, sensitive guy who sort of has this connection to the supernatural. Let's see. Jim is playing Richard Nice, who's the team leader. Richard is like the former like intelligence service member, and his thing is he's like the face guy and infiltration and stuff like that, if I remember correctly.
He's the Bond.
He's the Bond guy, yeah. And then Jose is playing Colt, who is the former That's it. The MIT graduate who did his doctors or masters.
I had my fellowship at USC where I studied the rate of muon decay.
Exactly. So he's our science guy. And then finally we have Dell playing. Oh, wow. That's really loud, Jose. I think you're going to have to mute the mic in between.
Is this the wife texts? That's
no.
That sound for wife texts.
She's upstairs.
So Dell is playing Stan.
Stan Leeds.
Yep. Stan Leeds. That's correct. And Stan is the former reporter.
For the True Believer.
True Believer. That's the
enough said.
All right. So, quick recap of last week's session. You guys were in Boston. You were helping move out the headquarters of Quantum Integrated Technologies to the new headquarters, or at least the Quantum Integrated Technologies Black Division, right? Which is what you guys are. That headquarters has moved to Kansas. Because they believe it's more central, so you can move easier around the country. But you guys were in the process of clearing out the former headquarters at Boston when you received an alert from Control that there had been a break-in at one of their facilities, which was already locked down. And so you guys went out to check it out. And turned out you found this car outside, and the place had been broken into, and you found this warehouse where there were these people. There was a woman on a stretcher receiving medical help from one of the men known as Dan. There was a wounded gentleman known as Larry, and a younger fellow with a machine gun or a assault rifle hidden behind some crates providing cover. You guys managed to sneak in and basically talk them down to the point where you came to realize this was actually Team Oscar, another Quantum Black team, who were not supposed to be in the warehouse. Just as things were calming down, Colt had snuck up and captured Steve, the younger man, and Larry had basically, surrender at this point, realizing that you were all on the same team, essentially working for Quantum Black. And Dan is the one who was paranoid, standing protectively over the woman.
What was her name?
Linda. And things, just as you were managing to convince Dan to stand down and let you have a look at the woman, she starts seizing up, and she transforms into this horrible spider creature wherein everybody has to make a sanity check. And Jerry is, paralyzed with shock. But fortunately, Colt has his what was it, an assault rifle or an
M16?
M16, M16 assault rifle, and he manages to empty the clip into the spider woman monster thing on the stretcher, ending its life, much to Dan's consternation. Yes. So I think we'll pick it up right there and then, because you still don't really understand what's going on, or you haven't had a chance to explore that. So,
right.
So let's pick it up right there.
So rules question right in the beginning.
Yeah.
As far as sanity recovery, I know I'm at -1. So what are we using for as far as like duration of sanity recovery or rate of sanity recovery?
So I believe it's a minute.
It's 2 per scene or 1 per minute, whatever's appropriate at the time.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
But then after a minute, you can pretty much regain. Let's see, you regain 1, I think. They become unconscious for a minute. After a minute, they must make a willpower check with a difficulty equal to how far below their sanity has fallen. If they succeed, they awaken with a sanity of 1.
And difficulty is 2? That willpower check? Is that
you were at what? At -2?
Yes,
so if you were at -2, then it's a difficulty of 2.
I'm at negative. I'm at -1.
Oh, so it's a 1 difficulty.
Oh, okay. I thought. All right, I got you. I understand. I thought it was like a removing dice from the willpower check. Okay, I get you. All right. Right on.
All right. So you regain 1 sanity point, and after this, you will heal 2 points per scene or 1 point per minute, which is applicable. So we'll see. You'll probably be back up to speed later on. So,
okay.
So that's the situation. The smell of cordite is still in the air, and the smell of all that gunpowder from having the smoke from having all that gunpowder go. So
Stan's standing there with the spider ichor that it speckled him through the sheet,
mm-hmm.
and he's pretty close. He will go wide-eyed and say, "Freaking awesome!" Run over there to Colt. Start patting him. Man, you see that? And start doing punches or whatever like that. Look at it. And he runs around there and bends down and takes his camera out and starts taking photographs of it. You're not going to believe this, man. You're not going to believe this.
It's like Colt's hands are shaking as he's trying to switch the magazine on the M16, and then he toggles the radius like, "Boss, you gotta get in here."
Yep. And Dan is like he's I think because the sheet had fallen over again. Ethan had thrown the sheet over the girl right as she transformed. So he's not sure if he wants to go grab her or not, and Larry just puts his one arm on the shoulder and says, just don't go over there. He still has his hand on the side because Larry had a wound on the side. He was bleeding from that. And he's like, let her go, Dan. Let her go.
Wait, so Colt kind of blinks and looks at Ethan and said, "Hey, I didn't shoot either of you guys, did I? Sorry about that."
No, as a matter of fact, I mean, I think I would have been good as dead had you. No, had you not. So it's just as well. Thank you.
Colt,
Colt, do I need to bring any special gear? What do we need to clean up?
We're gonna have to clean up here, all right. But you better take a look first.
Yeah, we're gonna need a body bag, dude,
and some buckets.
Everything we should need should be in the warehouse.
Yeah.
All right, and then I'll get out of the van and start heading in. I'll lock up
so,
the van.
How the hell did you get shot? He asks.
Larry says, I didn't get shot. I got stabbed. He says, Steve, see to Dan. I think he's in a bit of shock. And Steve, the younger guy, goes over and grabs Dan and takes him and has him sit down at one of the crates nearby, because Stan is pretty much out of it. And Larry leans back against some of the crates again, holding his flank, and he says, "So you guys are Bravo team. Well, it's a good thing we ran into you. As you can see, our mission seems not to have gone over well. Linda there, she went undercover at this place. We're investigating some disappearances over at Worcester, Massachusetts. There's been a string of
Worcester.
Worcester. There's been a string of disappearances. Some women, some men, and so we went to investigate. We managed to track things down to this shelter for women called Summer Hills in Worcester. Given that it was a shelter for women, we decided to send Linda in. She's one of the founding members. Only Steve there is the new guy. We left her there. She failed to check in the first night. We were going to storm the place, but Dan said to give her some time. Dan's the team leader. I think unfortunately he did not follow protocol, and I think he and Linda have gotten into a relationship, or had gotten into a relationship. And of course, as you know, this is frowned upon. So anyway, a couple of hours ago, we received a phone call from a payphone. It was Linda. She didn't sound herself, like she'd been drugged or something. And so as soon as we got the call, we got in the car and went out to pick her up. It was a gas station near the Summer Hills place. By the time we got there, we found her unconscious next to the payphone. And as we were trying to see what was wrong with her, this guy came out of the shadows and stabbed me. I barely had time to turn. He got me in the flank, and he lifts his hand and shows you the blood. I tried to kick him off me, and I think Dan or Steve fired a shot or two, but the guy disappeared into the bushes again, back into the woods. When we saw Linda's state, incoherent, sweating, there was a series of marks on her body, like bite marks. We decided that the first order of business was to see to her safety. So I remember this depot here, so we rushed over. Dan said he'd contacted control, but honestly, it's all fuzzy to me. Looking back on it, it seems so obvious he didn't. I think he suspected something was really wrong with Linda, and he didn't want control taking over, I suppose. And well, that's when you guys showed up.
I'll take that as a cue for Richard to walk up.
Yeah, he probably got it midway through that story, right? So he probably,
yeah.
Oh,
I'm gonna.
Oh, I have
Sure.
Sometime during the story, right? Because it was long enough for you to just walk in.
Sorry.
Yeah, and I'm gonna see if I come too.
Yeah.
The cool thing is that you're in the shadows and none of us noticed.
Yeah, hooray! I finally, I come to. Like,
I think Ethan is just gonna collect some samples and make sure that the reel to reel in the van is recording at the moment.
All right.
So yeah, great story. Colt, what the fucking hell? What is this, man? What? We're supposed to try and save some of this. What?
Those dogs are.
the smell. The dogs hate those spiders.
Yeah.
Do we even have anything here? Anything left of this specimen to collect? Come on, you're better than this. Let's get your head on straight, man.
Chill, man. We got most of it.
Have we gotten this man medical attention for his stab wound?
So, Jerry's just stumbling out of the darkness now, like still like with his shotgun out, and puts his hand on Richard's shoulders.
Jesus fucking crap! What? Where are you coming from?
Once upon a time, my mom and dad loved each other very much, but that's not important right now. She turned into a spider.
Okay, great. She turned into a spider. We're still professionals here, and we need to try and salvage something.
Look at this shit. Hey, I want to roll to see if supernatural lore to see if I can connect anything to the doctor. Ethan, take a look at this. Oh, you already taking.
Yeah, I just want to I'm a little bit concerned, boss, that if this is like an infectious agent or a parasite. We may want to suggest to these gentlemen that they may want to look into some diagnosis for their own well-being, perhaps.
You think they're contaminated? And he pumps the shotgun.
I think it's entirely possible.
Contaminated, and then stands like this.
There is, well, you guys made several perception checks, right? So this is the medical section of this depot, right? So it does have like stations for washing your eyes and showers for contamination with grids, right? Like you would have in any basic science lab. So if you guys want to clean yourselves up, there are facilities here.
So now that I can talk again, when when Richard like berates him for blasting the thing to pieces, he kind of like sighs and tells Jerry, "Listen, I'm going to keep watch. Make sure nobody nobody approaches after that. And when you get a chance, we got to requisition some Daisy Red Ryder rifles so we can keep intact samples for the boss man."
With a compass in the stock.
Yeah.
Thing that sells time.
So
carefully adjust my glasses.
Yeah. Larry says, I think we got bigger problems than that. Dan's out of it. Linda is gone. I'm out of it as well. And Steve is just a new guy. I think you guys are going to need to take over. Whatever's going on at Summer Hills, I think you should move fast. That guy who stabbed me, he's probably back there now, and who knows what they're planning or if they move. We still don't have a clear picture of what's going on in there, but
Yeah, Rich, you want a sample? We should go there. We can probably get a whole live one.
Top-notch idea after everybody decons. And then, so Rich is going to go right over to Dan, because Dan's team lead, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in his radio, while making eye contact with Dan, Control, this is Bravo team. We are proceeding to Oscar's mission. How copy? Over.
Oh,
Good. This is controlled. Good copy. Is Oscar out of the game?
Control. I don't know if Oscar was ever in the game.
Acknowledge.
Over.
Acknowledge. Proceed.
And maybe at this
All right,
point, Richard, you can hear like just this small humming from behind him as Jerry's humming. I
think,
love trash.
Yeah, I want to double check that I'm gonna get that snippet of tape off the reel to reel, where boss contacted control. Actually, I will discuss why.
Okay.
Clearly, that is not a problem.
Okay,
So
Stan went to take a shower, and he's recollecting what he just saw. And I've got supernatural lore. I want to see if there's anything in my database that
relating
I can draw
to
conclusions from. Relating to her being what she is. Yeah.
Okay. So well, you did work at some sort of tabloid thing, right? So
Yeah, that's my deal.
You're rolling
I got
what?
4 on
Lore?
that. I got the averages too. Supernatural lore.
Okay, so you don't recall specifics with that roll, but you do know that there are recurring themes of spiders in many ancient civilizations, including like Navajo First Nation people and other Native American tribes. There are tales, of spider women and dream catchers, and some association with wisdom, and some sort of what is it? She's portrayed as a helper of the people and associated with wisdom, and there's even a legend relating to like the Spider Woman stealing fire and giving it to humans, somewhat like the legends of Prometheus, right? So and some association also between the Spider Woman and the moon, and but it's nothing concrete. Dreams, the moon, wisdom, helping the people. You don't know if this is useful, but that's
Okay, well, while I'm in there showering up, if there's a window, I'll look out and see if I can catch a glimpse of the moon to see if it's in full.
As a matter of fact, there's no windows here, but or the windows have been covered with some tint and maybe some screen, like thinly meshed screen. But before you came in, you did notice that the moon is full. So yeah.
Okay. As soon as I get through cleansing every crack, I'll go back out with it.
So I'm looking over at Dick and saying, "You ready to go? We splitting?"
Do you not hear control? Did you not hear him? Like, there is something going on. We need to check it out. And because Colt can't seem to, maintain, pull his finger off the trigger, we need to still get the specimen.
Was that a yes or no?
Jeez, man, that must have hit you hard.
Well, there's gotta be pieces of the spider, to be fair, right? I didn't liquefy it.
No.
We certainly documented the scene. I think if we have conflicting priorities, we could just send some of the corpse by Federal Express, I suppose.
Larry says, we could always just lock this place up and take care of cleaning it later. I'll have Steve drive me over. I know a guy in the city lost his medical license. But he'll be good enough to patch me up and keep quiet. I'll have Steve drive me over, and we'll take Dan.
Yeah, that'll be good. One failure fixing another. Good call.
Yeah.
So as we
Yeah.
walk out, I all of a sudden stop, reach into my pocket, pull out this coil wire, hand to Steve. You're gonna want this, and don't explain anything about why I'm giving him the wire to his distributor.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and we'll walk out. And as we're walking out, I'm gonna turn to Stan and say, man, that's kind of insensitive. I think he really liked that girl. You probably shouldn't get so excited after she got killed. I mean,
Why? If he changed his mind by now, I mean, look at it. Would you do that?
No, man. I think you
Right,
really.
He's wiping off his camera.
You really ought to work on. He looks at him just like puts his. It's like you really ought to work on your empathy and your people skills, man. and then turns and walks.
Yeah. And he turns around and flips open a pad and starts making notes and stuff of what he remembered while he was showering and trying to concoct the story at this moment. All right. Empathy.
Oh. Well, anybody have money for the tolls? We got to take the pike.
Somebody needs to bring a shitload of dimes.
Yeah, you need change. Yeah.
And start heading towards Auburn and Worcester.
Yeah. So, before Larry leaves, he hands over a map, and it's kind of stained with blood, right? It's one of those Rand McNally maps of Massachusetts, and he's marked the location of. He points to it and says, "This is the gas station, and here's the Summer Hills house. It's run by a woman named Meredith Flynn." So that's about all we gathered. Again, Linda was supposed to be a recon, but well, we never got a debrief.
Not so much, yeah. All right, let's fire up the van. I'm like throwing another cassette and start.
What are you putting in there?
Actually, if you could wait just a little while, I'm hoping I'm going to do some analysis of the tape.
So, missing persons. Bring session in there.
So, okay, so the idea is to head straight for the Summer Hills, or what's the plan, guys?
I think we're given to believe these gentlemen that this is a high priority. Is that correct?
Yeah.
How long is this? Is the drive?
It's about an hour.
Yeah, about an hour. Buckle up, man.
Is there any 24-hour are there any 24-hour hardware stores that you might know about on the way?
Hardware store? At
We
midnight?
just walked out of a warehouse.
Not in the 80s, though.
No, I know, but I'm just thinking maybe we should get some pest killer, some particularly bug spray.
Insecticide.
Yes,
Richard reaches over and turns up the music.
There's probably a 7-Eleven. I don't know if they have insecticide.
Can we stop for some snacks? Just hairs tingling on my back of my neck moment.
7-Eleven.
Yeah, I'm just
We
turning
could
the
always,
music up even louder. We're on mental hopscotch.
I'm
right
happy
now.
to break into a hardware store if you don't think we can find anything. Actually, I think we should probably come prepared.
We got
So we can
trucks.
leave
We've
the
got
cash.
bullets. We got bullets. It's okay.
All right. So for the next scene, Ivan gets 2 sanity back, and well, actually, it's like an hour drive, so you'd probably be back up to full.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the
And
rest of
he's
us
in the
took some
zone.
damage too, right? So I took 1 point.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So everybody can heal back up, and everybody take a point of style because the roleplay has been good so far. So we'll start the next scene with some extra style, just in case.
So I'm hoping to go over the fragment of tape from Control. I'm just wondering if maybe I can pick up anything in the background, people talking in the background, maybe, and just seeing if we can get some extra information. You might say. Do some audio post processing.
Interesting.
With an oscilloscope?
Of course. What's
I
it
think
here for?
I think that's the high point of technology. Audio
Go,
process.
go for it. Roll. What would you roll for that? Some sort of.
I'm imagining. Yeah, I mean, I have engineering. I have science. I'm thinking. Just maybe trying to denoise the signal. Yeah. Okay.
That makes sense to me. That sounds like a tough thing to do.
Sure.
Oh, I absolutely. I mean,
So
I graduated from MIT.
What are you talking about?
If
The tracking knob. That's all you gotta.
if it's tough, it's a 3 difficulty.
Okay. All right. Oh my goodness. Something's going on. Okay, here we go. Is it engineering? Okay.
Sure, it's like sound engineering. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then I'll just take the average. And I'll come back with something then.
So it's a 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
average 3? Oh, excellent. So that sounds great. So yeah, you managed to put some sort of filter on the thing and try to enhance, mute, mask the main voice of Control and try to see if you can sift through the white noise onto the background chatter, and you hear
maybe nothing. I mean, it's,
no, but here's what you're gonna hear. You're gonna hear one of the guys. Oscar team is out and Bravo's on it. Good. Do we have any personnel left in the area? No, everybody's airborne. They're going there without backup. And another voice says, "Well, I guess they'll just have to make do." As soon as we, radio ahead to Kansas, see if they can send another flight. Would they do that, or would they just turn around? They said, radio ahead to Kansas, see if they can arrange from some backup, but it's going to take hours to get here. And that's what you're hearing.
All right.
Ethan,
all the 80s music is going all around here. Yeah. Okay, Stan's just he's got his Polaroids laid out and writing his little story up. In the back of the van is rocking along. Are we there yet?
But if there's nothing else, I suppose an hour passes swiftly, and it's night.
I just changed the cassette, man.
Nice. So the area that he marked in the map is not in the main town. It's more toward the outskirts. So it's out there, isolated from, the center of town. It's mostly near just, wooded areas, and so it's a pretty isolated place. It's down key. It kind of makes sense. They don't want him to be too close to, if it's a women's shelter, they don't really want it, accessible to, easily found, right?
Right.
They want to keep their distance. And so
we've already passed the Aku Islander that you can see from the highway, right? In Worcester.
That's right.
Come on, have you
that's right. Yeah.
And I pulled off, and it's like driving through Worcester. Man, that's such a shithole.
It's got a good concert arena though.
It does. Yeah. Drive past the Centrum,
Yeah, exactly.
Start going towards the wooded area.
Yeah, and so you reach, you reach the edge of this road, which is now a small road, right? It's a small country road, and there are some hedges, and you can see the actual gates to the facility, and a long path that goes back to an old house. It's like a 2-story building. It's kind of big. It's probably some sort of old hospital or some such building facility, which has been, turned into this women's shelter. And so it's after midnight, I believe, because it was almost midnight when we started the game last time. So it's about 2 a.m. There's no lights. Everything is dark, right? So
living after midnight.
Well, I'm killing the music.
We gonna let it all hang out.
No, not that one.
The Judas Priest. So that's it. What do you guys
to the dawn?
Where to, Rich? This place looks pretty deserted. Well, at least shut down pretty tight.
Yeah.
Want me to do a little recon?
It's 2 a.m. They might be sleeping.
Yeah. No, it's just that fact that it's dark.
Yeah. Promise not to destroy anything of that value.
I'm not a politician. I don't do promises.
Fair enough.
I'm going out too.
All right.
Let's do a broad sweep.
Yeah. All right. So you guys, what are you going to do? You're going to grab weapons?
Wait for me. And it's backing this stuff up. And grab his little binoculars.
I've got my shotgun in my hand. Stan is saying, wait for me, and I just look pleadingly at Richard. As Cole and I are trying to scout out the area and look for threats quietly. But I don't say that. I look at Richard with this just deer in the headlights look, like, do something.
Hey Stan, why don't you hang back? Team's gonna need a tough guy in case something happens when we're gone.
Yeah, so you got 2 sets of night vision goggles, which I don't even know if those were a thing in the 80s, but we'll call it good.
Military, yeah. I mean, yeah, something like it. Yeah.
The last people that were using were Ethan and Stan, so they're probably the last ones that had them.
You probably have to actually have it I imagine that they're probably the ones with the infrared lamp.
Yeah.
You have to
You have to shine an infrared lamp to be able to see it. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. So
I'm going out with Adam.
I'll take a pair.
Okay. Okay. So at the end of the day, the 3 of you are going?
No,
Is that what I hear? No, just the 2 of you.
No.
Yeah.
No, he tells me the way. That's fine.
Richard will look at Jerry, roll his eyes. All right, Stan, yeah, stay back here with Ethan or Evan, whatever.
Are you freaking serious, man? Kid you not, I swear. And then he turns around and walks to the back of the van and sits down in a huff and picks up his little notebook and starts like that. And he looks up every once in a while, giving you the evil eye. What do you say?
All right. So Jerry and Colt, tell me what do you do? How do you proceed?
Oh,
What
so
what are
with,
you looking
with that
for? Yeah.
with that, Richard's gonna gear up with the other set of MVGs.
Oh, so you're going
Yeah,
as well?
I'm gonna
Oh,
go
cool,
patrol.
cool, excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had back in. I'm checking right.
Mhm.
NAM level technology included Starlight, which is light amplification, and IR. So it's not too far. It's not probably not as good as this stuff now, but for game purposes.
Excellent.
I'm going out like in one direction, let's say nominally left, and
Okay.
just like using stealth and just kind of sweeping around the area looking for anything.
That's exactly gonna do. Going around the house looking for anything that looks out of place. First, do a sweep. The plan is first to do a sweep around the house,
Uh-huh.
and then check what entrances there are other than the main door, and if they're obviously secured.
Okay. So, let's see. Let me take a look at the skills here. It's got to be some sort of tracking.
There's tracking, there's stealth, and there's perception.
Yeah, so I guess it's either survival for tracking or perception, or both.
Survival.
Yeah, or
survival.
both. Whatever is.
I got the same
works.
score in both. So,
yeah. And if you're wearing the Starlight gear, it is a full moon, right? So the light is actually dim light, which confers a penalty of -2. So if you got the Starlight on, it's brightly lit for you. If you don't, then that's a -2 penalty to your checks. So what's the average here for you guys, just so I have an idea?
I got 2.5. So rolling. All right, got a 3 on this one.
Okay. How about Jerry and Richard?
Well, Jerry's going to take a penalty because of the.
Because you don't have the goggles, so you're at -2.
Right,
For your average, each die penalty moves you down half a point or up half a point.
Oh, yeah, no,
if it's
I know.
a bonus.
So -2 would knock you down a whole point of average.
Right. So my average is 1+ right now, so I'd have to roll a die.
Wow.
It turns out it's 1. Turns out I got 1 success.
And how much is Jim? 2. Okay. All right. So well, you guys are picking up, there's tracks all over the place, right? Normal things. You don't see any tracks out of the ordinary, right? Like no spider tracks or something.
Or ancient duck tracks.
Yeah. You notice that, the windows all have the curtains down. You see the front door is locked clearly. There's a porch, like right, you have to climb up the porch and go to the front door. It is locked, but as you looked around, you see there's several dream catchers hanging on the porch. As you go around, you note that there is a door in the back with some steps leading up to the door, and it's locked, but it's not the doorknob. The doorknob is not locked, so there must be some sort of latch or something. It might be easy to force, right? Because it's not a modern looking doorknob.
As I walked by the front porch and look at the
knocking?
dream catchers. As I look at the dream catchers, I'm walking down. I just radio like hippies and keep walking around.
This is just a bunch of roach clips.
Looks like the whole place is locked up like a normal house. Nothing out here. You want to just back to front?
Question: the windows, Eloy, they look normal? Are they boarded up?
No,
are they just glass or shutters?
They look like glass windows. mostly. So not super hard to break into. I guess you have to work the thing for the latch to turn it over so you can lift. So that's another possible entryway. The front door does have a more modern looking lock, so that's also doable, but probably harder.
Does
Right,
anybody have any skull?
You guys have lockpicks and stuff in your.
Yeah, we do.
Oh yeah.
The other thing is,
I have larceny.
Richard,
Right.
let's take a look to see if
Who's in
they
the
have
van
a
with me?
Stan the Man.
Yeah, you got Stan.
So Richard, we should take a look to see, make sure they don't have some sort of alarm system here. Right, we can maybe combine a larceny to see if they have any other security system installed.
That sounds good. Yeah.
Yep.
Go ahead.
So I give you 2 dice on that, since we're checking together.
Cool.
What's your average on that?
My average is 2+.
2+.
With my 2 dice, it would be
3+.
3+. Yeah.
Okay, so that's good enough.
Okay.
No, there doesn't seem to be. Well, no, actually, I'll take that back. There is an alarm system. It would stand to reason that you'd have a women's shelter should probably have an alarm system. So yeah.
Okay. Can we tell what kind of alarm system it is?
I don't know much about alarms, but I'm guessing
Is
the
it just
kind where
a connection sensor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, usually back then is if you open the door or if you break the window,
Right.
it
Yeah.
goes
Same
off.
thing today.
It's like magnetic things.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
like the
those little
vibration
magnetic
sensor on the
connectors.
window.
Yeah.
And there's the cliche trick.
with the bubble gum and
Yep.
the
I was just gonna say, he pulls out a bubble gum wrapper. Slide. Are we going in the window or the door?
You tell me?
Oh,
If we're going in, I suggest the window, right?
Yeah.
So,
Okay. So yeah,
less damage
he'll
to-
slide it in. Richard will slide it in between the sensors on the window.
Okay. So what's your larceny again? Oh, it's a 3+. You said, right?
yeah, with
3+
my
with help. Yep.
Okay,
2+
so
normally.
with with assistance from Colt is 3+, right?
yeah.
So it's just a matter of doing the cliche with the bubble gum with the
Bubblegum wrapper.
chewing gum wrapper, and
Oh, yeah, chewing gum.
it has to be chewing gum because it's the aluminum one, and Colt helps you jimmy the lock on the latch for the window, so you manage to lift it up and not break the circuit.
But while they're doing that, they hear a squawk, and this is Control. What have you guys found out there?
Control.
This is not Control. This would be.
This is me. This is Stan from the van on his walkie.
Stan from the van.
I can confirm that is Stan. Yep. He is with me right
Why
now.
are you doing that? Yeah.
Stan.
It just opens the thing. What's it look like out there?
Well, would you guys have the walkie-talkie?
the walkies
Yeah,
on
we
them, right?
would have something. So I'll step back. He just motions to Colt. Stan, if you ever want to go on a mission again, I suggest you stop acting like a child.
But that's what I was. It's died.
All right. So you guys open the window, and a little bit of the wind, ruffles the curtains on the side. You peek your head in. You both have the night vision goggles. I'm guessing Jerry's a little behind you, covering your rear, and you notice immediately that the room is empty. There's nobody in this bedroom. It's one of the bedrooms. There doesn't seem, the bed is made, right? You take a look around and you notice that it seems to be occupied. I mean, there's photo picture frame on top of a dresser. There is a little vase with a flower in it. It's not dead. The flower is not dead. And there seems to be clothes and stuff, but the bed is made. There's nobody lying on this bed. And it's a small room. It only has like a dresser, a bed, and maybe a small desk, stuff like that, right? Mirror.
Colt, do you make your bed to go use the restroom at night? Because I sure as hell don't.
No. Something's going on here. And it's not a women's shelter.
Well,
No, it doesn't seem to be anybody here.
It's women's clothing that's in here, right? And a little picture frame of a woman with a child,
Right.
and that's it.
Jerry, real quick, what you feeling, man?
Well, I looks in. Well, I don't know. Colt was in the army. I suppose they might make their bed to go to the bathroom, but
I was
This
not
looks-
in the army.
oh, what were you?
Marines.
Oh yeah, sorry, man. I don't know. And it gets on the radio. Hey, Ethan, you ought to have a look at this.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Come on,
That
guys.
sounds interesting. Oh, all right.
This is like one of those riddles you guys like.
Oh, I'll be right there.
Just puts his radio back down.
All right. Well, while Richard shakes his head, Colt's gonna see if there's any light. Check the door that
Mhm.
goes further in. See if there's any light anywhere in the house.
No, you don't see a light underneath the
The door.
the floor is like wood paneling, and there's no. There's maybe a little carpet in the middle of the room, but there's no light beneath the door.
Okay, before Ethan gets out the van, because I want to do this whenever I try to contact them, whenever they be dismissive of me, I'll toss the thing. Ethan's looking bored inside the van. Stan is. It's over to Ethan, and he runs over real quick and grabs his Polaroids and comes up to you and says, "What do you make of these?" Just trying to, get conversation going.
Oh, well, I haven't had the opportunity to look at them. I mean, the
change you saw are freaking mind blowing, man.
we
Would
really
you change like that?
we should put a dark room in the back of the van. These are very there's a little bit that we can do to analyze these.
This is the newest technology, man. And he shows you the Polaroids.
Eli,
And
these
coming in here or
Polaroids-
not?
Oh no, I imagine that we are walking and talking because I'm on the way.
These
What?
Polaroids are of the Spider Woman.
That's my understanding. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have?
Yeah, because I'd broken it out. But while I'm doing this, I'm spilling out what I did on my little supernatural lore to him. Excitedly trying to kick his brain to see if it made any sense or the way.
Yeah, that's what I'm
doing
asking.
it while they did that. I'm going back. This has been happening in the van up until while y'all were doing.
Oh, it doesn't. I mean, none of this. It doesn't not make sense.
I just want to update on him about what.
Does Ethan have any anthropology or?
Oh well, I mean, so I have
or lore,
supernatural lore,
Uh-huh.
And then I also I have some academics, but generally I study in the physical sciences. So,
okay. So,
but that includes biology and zoology. But I'm not particularly knowledgeable about cultural legends besides around my hobbies.
Okay. So what's your average on that, just in case? Because you're pretty amazing at a lot of science.
It is just 2.
That's average. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you don't any further information at this time. Okay. You pretty much know what Dell already knows, right?
What am I looking at in here? And I'm coming in to see what I'm given to see here. What is it that I'm looking at?
Well, you're standing next to the guys who have.
No,
like, a
I'm
window
sorry. I
open.
really can't see anything. It's dark in here. I mean, is electricity on? Can we turn a light on?
I look at Richard and then crawl in the window stealthily.
Okay. Do you go like?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Totally. I'm like,
All right. Since there's so many people in this room,
Well, they're in the process of climbing in. What do you do?
yeah.
Colt's gonna keep watching. He's gonna first crack open the door as quietly as he can. My average sneaking is 3, just so you have that.
Okay, good.
So stealth is other way 2+, sneaking is 3. So I'll and if there's nobody outside in the hallway, he'll step out and tell Richard, "I'll be right outside, keeping watch."
Yeah, that three's your average, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
3's my average for sneaking. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. Okay.
So he'll tell Richard, "I'll be right outside, keeping watch." And as long as he's out there, he's gonna watch for any lights or any movement.
Mm-hmm.
So you've actually gone in the room. Okay, I didn't realize that.
So he goes inside, and as you open the door, it leads into some sort of hallway. But you realize that this house seems to be one of those houses with like an open central courtyard.
Okay.
Type of place, right? So it's closed off to the outside, but the courtyard is open, and so you can see that there are lots of doors lining the 4 walls of the inner courtyard, and there is a second floor with a small railing for a balcony, like the same hall, right? Is right above you. It's the same thing on the floor up top. You notice several things. Among them, everything is dark. There is no there's moonlight, so there is some illumination of this area. But you do not see any lights coming from any of the doors, right? Like you look around and you don't immediately see any doors. You can see to the wall by the entrance, right, where the front door is, and it does have some heavy-looking locks. Towards the back wall, you notice a set of double doors leading to, all the other doors seem to be single. There's a set of double doors on the back. On the second floor, right above the place where the double doors are, you notice that the second floor seems pretty much identical to the first floor, right? A bunch of doors. But above the room where the double doors, there's another room also with double doors.
Okay.
And it's those are in the opposite side of the entrance, right? So if somebody were standing there and look at the balcony, they'd be looking at the front door. And further, that the room with the double doors in this floor must lead to the outside door with a flimsy lock that you identified when you did your perimeter.
All right.
There are stairs in the courtyard going up to the second floor balcony, like right. If you walk to the end of this hallway, you could take the stairs going up.
Okay. So I'm just gonna stand there and keep guard while these guys figure out what to do with the room.
All right. So the rest of you guys are coming in.
Yeah.
Can
I come in now? Come in, yeah.
Yeah, we'll help you.
Yeah.
I reach for the light switch.
Richard slaps his hand. What is wrong with you, Eli? One, you're gonna blind me. 2, you're gonna maybe, just maybe, tip off that we're in here. 4 men in a women's shelter meant to protect women from men.
I'm sorry. I want to apologize. You asked me to come in here and take a look at this, and unfortunately, I just can't see anything at the moment.
Oh, takes off his eyewear, and hands it to Ethan. All right, Eric, here you go.
Oh,
can
thank
look
you.
around now without getting us killed.
Thank you. Well, that's wow. All right. I wasn't thinking about getting killed. I mean, you guys have just so many guns that just never occurred to me. But I mean, you know,
Does Ethan have his weapons with him, or?
I mean, I imagine that I kind of have just the Winchester, or you know, the like an AK. Do they have AK-74s in this, or like a Grand? Actually, I think my gun of choice would be a Grand.
And one.
Grand. Yes.
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 Yeah.
The only way, like the
Damn
7
thing.
pounds. Absolutely. That's very practical. I mean, this, you know, you don't want to be weighed down by it.
Yeah, just throw a shell down and wait for them to pop their head up. Just then Stan comes up to the window. He sees where Richard comes in because he got sidetracked on the porch looking at the
Dream catchers.
And then he's trying to scamper his way in.
Oh, that reminds me.
When the light goes off again, so I might have to roll to see if.
So yeah, well, what is there anything about the room when I turn the light on? Like
you don't turn
really?
the light on, right?
I think
stopped, right?
I thought maybe there was some accommodation. Yeah.
He gave you the night gear.
Oh, he gave me the night gear. Oh, I follow. Okay. Well, with that in mind, I mean, I think.
You know, I really hope Richard doesn't smoke because his coronary's got enough of a workout.
So I forgot to mention, Colt, you do see 2 more dream catchers on the second floor on the room above the room with the double doors, right?
Okay.
So you do see more dream catchers on the second floor.
And while they're looking in the room, I'm going to walk out now and join Colt and just kind of look at him and say they're having a moment. And look around at the area as well.
All right.
Shotgun at the ready.
You guys pull me in. How high is this window? Am I going to need a little leverage?
It's just imagine you're standing in front of a house and it's got a window. Maybe it's a little bit high up. The house seems to have some sort of foundation, right? That rises it because there's a balcony to go up and some stairs to go in back through the. So it's a window. You have to pull yourself up to go.
Yeah, I just didn't want to fall out from turn the lights on and off.
Yeah, no, it's no big deal. Yeah.
All right. Well, I take the average to get up in the room. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So.
What are you guys doing in here? What have we found?
What the hell? I thought I told you to stay in the van.
So I think Ethan is actually I'm gonna go to the closet under the stairs.
Chill, dude.
If there is one in this entryway.
Richard, don't have a cow, man.
No, it doesn't seem to be a closet, right? Like, no, not under the stairs. The stairs seem to be like freestanding, just stairs, right, going up to the second floor balcony.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I think I'm gonna put my head to the wall and listen, and also to the floor. I'm listening for any machinery. Kind of just for like, you know, and it, you know, is there a furnace? Is there, you know, where's the furnace? Where's the refrigerator? I mean, this is a wooden house in New England, so
yeah.
So, Yeah.
So, what's your perception?
It is 7.
7. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So you do hear the sound of a furnace going. It seems to be underground, because the noise is coming from the floor. You don't really hear much when you put your ears to the sides of the room, right? So you don't hear much else.
Okay.
Right, Stan almost trips over him while he's bent down listening to the floor in the dark, and he's feeling around, and he goes out of the room
Okay.
to follow
Christ, he's gonna get us.
Larry.
So what do you do, guys? Need a map?
I'm waiting for
Uh,
instructions. I'm waiting for the captain to make a decision here.
I think I do need to start keeping some kind of map for myself here.
Yeah.
All right, so so right now the three of them are in the room, or did they join us out in the courtyard?
I think they're out in the courtyard with you.
I
So
think
Now,
everybody would
did
have
you say it
thought-
was? Did you say it was open air courtyard or no?
yeah,
Yeah.
There's open air, so it looks.
so it's like
looks-
kind of like a mixture between a colonial house and a hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Looks,
okay.
Yeah, so I mean, cold to say, everything quiet, boss. I haven't seen lights under any doors or any movement or patrolling, or guards patrolling around.
That's good, I hope. All right.
Do you want me to run through the description again? It's the first floor. It's an open courtyard.
Mhm.
First floor has got a bunch of doors. You just came out of one of the doors, right? A bunch of identical doors on 2 sides, right? There's one side which is the front of the house, which clearly has the entrance door, right? Maybe a couple of smaller rooms adjacent to that entry. And at the back, the opposite wall of the entry, the main door, right, there is a set of double doors, which clearly leads to a larger room, different from the rest of the other smaller rooms. Then there is a staircase in the courtyard leading to the second floor. Second floor seems pretty much identical, but in the place of the room with the double doors, there seems to be another, larger room, also with doors and some dream catchers up there. They're pretty similar, both floors.
And there's no dream catchers in front of the first floor.
There's probably like a small dream catcher inside the room, right? I think they're probably hanging inside the room,
But not like an abnormal amount.
No,
Or
no.
not
Like
equivalent. So the one on the what I'm saying is the one on the second floor has more dream catchers than anything on the first floor.
Yeah, because there's there seems to be a dream catcher inside the room that you were in, but not on the hallways outside. There's only in the back second floor that there's some dream catchers outside.
so we got all these bedrooms. We can sit there and start knocking at every single door. We can look at the 2 big rooms, one upstairs and one downstairs.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's a
Okay.
good
All right,
summation.
here's what we're gonna do. Jerry and Colt, I want you two to take the top store, take the top with the dream catchers in front of them. We're gonna, me and these other two are gonna take the lower route. There's nothing indicating that these 2 rooms are any kind of like the 2 stories beyond those doors are connected. Like there's nothing, like not window, cathedral window or anything like that. Nothing that would indicate that they are the same room effectively.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
No. I mean, they
Alright.
could be, but it's weird.
Right.
They have doors on the second floor.
Yeah,
It wouldn't
exactly.
be,
That's what I wasn't sure
Yeah.
if there was some kind of window or something that would depict like an open or more open room inside. So yeah. Yeah. You two take the top, unless you think you need one more.
No, we're good.
You owe me.
Not on my
Okay.
salary.
Let's have everyone roll stealth.
All right. Woo!
So the upstairs team is Jerry and Colt,
Right.
and downstairs team is Richard, Ethan, and Stan the Man.
Ooh, 4. Nice.
Three.
I
Really?
got 3.
Okay, Colt is 3, Rich is 3, Jerry is 4, Ethan and Stan.
Kenny got-
It's not going to go well. Yeah, I'm gonna spend 2 style.
Wow.
This is the level of concern that we have. Do you have this skill?
I don't.
You don't.
I don't.
Oh, so that's
I have 2 decks.
so you have 2 decks.
Oh, so-
minus 2 is 0. So right?
Yep.
Simon?
Yep.
Yeah.
So
So hence the 2 style. Got
hence
it.
2 style exactly.
What did you get, Stan?
I've only got 3 decks, so I'm rolling 1 dice, right? And I just got a 1.
So you just got
That's
1. Okay, and
Yeah.
Ethan?
I have 1.
1.
You
Okay.
got the average. That's good.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so let's start with the upstairs team
It's
because
better
why
than
not?
being not stealthy at all, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. So, like a couple of panthers, Jerry and Coke stealthily ascend the stairs, covering the.
Hey, Jerry's gotten women mad at him before. He does not want to do that again. So he.
And I understand it. I take it that you guys are going straight for the 2 rooms, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So
Right.
the upstairs team goes ahead, and you make it. You see the dream catchers again coming up closer, and there's a set of double doors. What do you do when you get to the double doors?
I check them, see if they're locked.
They have those same old timey type of locks that you saw in the back of the this is not a new
Right.
lock, right? So it then
All right.
it has a little keyhole and everything, right? So
All right. So Cold tells Jerry, all right, keep an eye out. He lets the M16 hang on his sling and brings out like the old Rockford file style lockpick kit, that looks like a modern shaving kit with the zipper, right?
nice.
And that gives me a +2 to the skill. So
Okay.
I've got the appropriate tools.
Go for it.
And I roll 3 successes on 6 dice.
Excellent. So you pick the lock quite easily. It doesn't really make any much noise. Just click and it's open.
All right. So he puts the tools away,
Uh-huh.
gets the rifle ready, and says, do the honors, Jerry.
All right, so
Jerry,
I'm kicking not kicking. I'm pushing the door.
Oh,
open.
just
Very
opening
gingerly.
it.
Very gingerly.
okay. So you're pushing the door in gently, and it makes a little noise. These things aren't completely silent, but it creaks a bit, and you see that this is a bedroom. It looks like a much larger version of the room that you came in, right? So it's sort of like a master bedroom type of deal.
Right.
It's got a canopy bed, to the back. There's just some windows with the curtains down. So you can't see outside, but the windows got the curtains down. There's like a night table. There's a dresser. There's the usual stuff, but there's a stand. There's like a little bookcase right on a corner, but there seems to be cobwebs all over this the bed, and all over the room basically, but more toward the bed. You see a little door to the side, and it's open, and it's clearly a bathroom in there, and the whole place is covered with webs. Meanwhile,
Jesus.
the guys downstairs, and when I say covered, I mean covered. It's a humongous amount of. It's not like a couple of spider webs, right? Like it's a lot of spider webs.
So are they like cobweb, like old cobwebs with dust, or like just webs? Like
Like a third level magic user.
Right.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Exactly. Third level magic user emptying his spell allotance for the day.
Oh yeah, no, I get it.
First floor team reaches the double doors. There's no locks on the doors. It's the doors. It's those. They seem to have replaced the original. Oh, Jim is back. Okay, cool. The downstairs team reaches the double doors. You notice that these doors are the kinds that flap like front and back, and don't even have locks on them. So they have like the metal plates that you can push. So they completely open, and it does make that very loud creaking sound when I guess Stan and and Ethan open them, right? And you see that the room beyond.
I'll bring a can of WD-40 next time. Sorry.
So you guys are like the anti WD-40.
Yeah,
Exactly.
So Richard will draw his weapon, and not worry that he is aiming through either of the two in front of him.
What are you carrying? What are you packing?
Just whatever a heavy pistol would be for the time.
45. It would be 45.
I was just gonna say a 45, but I wasn't sure. So yeah, 45.
I just have this picture in my head of us like the shock of seeing these webs everywhere, punctuated by that freaking creak coming from downstairs all at once. You know, like
Yeah.
God damn it!
Contact.
Anyhow, go ahead. I didn't want to.
And so you see, it's like a kitchen, and dining hall, right? Like part of the area has been partitioned into a dining hall with small tables, with cafeteria type tables and chairs. It's not huge, but it's much larger than the other rooms you were in. One area has like clearly it's the kitchen, and there's another door that is propped open that leads to that kitchen area. You can see like sinks and I don't know, stuff like that. And that's basically what you see from this position. You'd have to go in to a kitchen area. I mean, you can only see part of the kitchen through this open door.
All right, I'll lean over Stan's shoulder. All right, big shot. You wanted to come play. Let's play. Feel free to lead the way.
Yes.
Follow.
And then Stan reaches out kind of blindly. And stuff this, and bumps it, moves it a little bit. There seems to be a chair here. He squeaks it out of the way.
Jesus.
You there?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
we
just
got you
broke
now.
up a little bit. I'm gathering that you move the chair so it squeaks.
Yeah, I bumped into him. I ain't got no goggles on, and he's telling me to go forward. So I stumbled into this kitchen area you're talking about.
Yeah, it's pretty dark. You do have, I
My
suppose you
toe
do
and
have flashlights, right? In the skill pack, but I don't know if you.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's pulled it out.
Well, I mean, you gave Ethan the
Not yet.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay, so you're headed where? To the kitchen, or are you gonna look at the? That's pretty much you can see the tables from here.
So where's the
only
light?
thing left to check out is the kitchen. Oh, there's a light switch right next to the door.
Okay, I'm trying to make my way over to it.
It's right next to the door. You open the double door, you can see the switches, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm feeling around and I hit the light switch.
So you hit the light switch. Okay.
I said, this is some bullshit. And then I flipped the light switch.
Yeah. So you flip them back off? Is that what you said?
I flipped them. I flipped them. He told me to go forward, and
Okay.
I flipped them on. Yeah.
So you flip the lights.
I said, this is some bullshit. Yeah.
Okay. So, okay. Sorry. You seem to be breaking up now. I know. It's the hotel. The hotel Wi-Fi is not doing its job. Yeah. So okay. So again, you have the dining room area. You have the now you can see it clearly. You have the door to the kitchen is open, and you see like sinks and a counter, and there seems to be a stove. You have to go in to get a clearer picture of the kitchen. So you're leading the way.
Y'all,
right?
y'all coming? Y'all coming? And then I'll walk forward. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No, this is. I mean,
okay.
I wanted to stop for a snack, so.
So back to second floor. What is second floor doing?
Well, in the meantime, like, I mean, I'm assuming there's enough moonlight in here that I can kind of see.
Yeah.
Is that okay? So I don't know, if this really counts as a cosmic horror, because the talent of Cosmic Sensitive is pretty specific to Cthulhu type stuff, and so. But I will still try to. I can use my perception, which is my only real hope, to see if I can detect anything, odd. I mean, in other words, and my specific thing is, oh my God, is there one of these spider keepers here?
Yeah, go ahead.
As I'm starting to walk in, and I get all of 2 successes, but
Okay. So you're getting really bad vibes off of the webbing on the entire room, right? Predominantly on the bed, right? You're getting really bad.
Like I wasn't getting them before, but yeah, okay.
Exactly, but these are the special bad vibes, And you're also, picking some sense of unease from the bookcase right next to the.
A sense of what? Unease?
Unease. Yeah.
I thought you said unease. I'm the spices are downstairs in the kitchen. Those are in the kitchen. Right.
No.
Yeah.
There's something wrong in the bookcase as well. You're getting a bad vibes off of that.
I'm gonna actually start walking towards there, so, and I kind of look at Colt. Don't say anything. Kind of point towards the bathroom, but I'm gonna start walking towards the bookcase a little bit to see and see if I can see if there's something there that's really weird. But I've got my shotgun kind of trained right on it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So your attention is drawn to the middle, the next to the top. It's almost it's the one at eye level, right? The one that would be easiest to reach at.
Right. Where are you going,
That's
man?
the one that's drawing you. And
where are you going?
You notice a book. Do you answer?
No. I kind of give him the hand for a second like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking.
And so you get this book, and it looks really old. It feels like leather. Mm-hmm. It's got a on relief marked on the leather. It has what looks to be like the design of a spider web, right? Like what you would see on Halloween, somebody do a little relief of a spider web. And on the back, it has a dream catcher in the same motif, right? It has a dream catcher.
Okay. And Jerry feels a tap on his shoulder, and Colt offers him the flashlight with the green light suppressing lens.
So when you shine the light on it, it says
it's an original copy of Charlotte's Web.
No, it's
signed by the author. Okay, go on.
It says "The Dream of the Spider and the Awakening" by Clark Ashton Smith, Goblin Press. Yeah, 1930 something. The Dream of the Spider and the Awakening by Clark Ashton Smith, Goblin Press, 1930 something.
I look at Colt. Say this is important, and I take the book and I'm gonna throw it in my pack.
Okay. So back to the first floor. You open the door to the kitchen, and you notice that it widens up again. Now you can see the stove, you can see the oven, you can see sinks, bunch of plates, bunch of like dinnerware, right? It's all clean. It hasn't been used. No, actually, I'll take that back. It's the opposite. It's completely full of dirty dishes and plates and glasses and stuff. And like nobody has done the dishes tonight, which is weird. You see that there is a pantry, which looks pretty big, like for a hotel, right? And you see, the freezers, the everything, the full deal of a commercial type kitchen, because this feeds the whole house, right? But there is a door at the back of this thing, and it opens, and these two figures come out, and it's two men. They're dressed in dirty clothes. They're covered in dirt. Okay, so it's completely bizarre sight, right? The least thing you would have expected, and in a kitchen, no less, right? You would expect the place to be clean and the people, be washed and everything, but they're all grimy and got their hair is messed up, and they look at you and they rush you.
Ooh.
And I think that's where we're going to end it.
Freaking squatters, man.
We're not going to do the combat at 5 minutes to 11.
Nice hif clanger. I love it.
Yeah, that's right.
Stop. Yeah.
Yes.
Freaking squatters, dude.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed that. Nothing much happened, but I think it was interesting.
Hey, a lot happened.
Yeah, it was good mood setting and stuff like that. I hope that was interesting.
No, that was good.
Well, I think we learned a lot about how to get ourselves into, or like how we're going to get ourselves into trouble. That part of a horror movie. Like I think everybody's really kind of right on genre with that. And that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're in a tremendous amount of trouble right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
my goodness.
Like no, I mean, like Ivan's got the like saying snarky stuff. Like I'm the bumbling idiot. Jim's got the bossy character, and Dell is the guy that is
hasn't learned radio discipline yet. It's the guy who hasn't learned.
Yeah, he's the Zeppo in a way. You know, the thing that's going to attract or bumble his way into bullshit. But
About to get a butt stock to the back of the noggin.
and we
dude, don't have a cow, man.
And we split the party, which is even better. You know?
Yeah, I noticed that after a while. I was like, oh yeah, I just did the thing. Yeah.
No, it's okay. You should split the party. It's just that, like, the guys would save your bacon right now are upstairs with this big spider thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
well,
It's okay. That's okay. Hey, that's cool. That's normal.
Bullets go through walls and see.
Yeah.
Like this isn't a dungeon.
Oh, so that means at some point you're going to do the what is that with Keanu Reeves? At some point, Edgar is going to do the no and just start shooting up in the ceiling and shoot me through the foot. Just freaking out because of the guys that are there.
I happen to know that the cartridges on my gun are not likely to go through the.
What is your firearm skill?
Oh, I have two dice.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
2 points of dexterity.
Okay, that's four.
Okay.
You had to get a combat skill. Everybody had to get a combat skill.
All right, plus the gun has what, like 2 lethal, so it's just 6 dice. That's respectable.
Well, I got 2 pistols and I got a 7 total with a pistol skill wise.
Okay.
And what about Richard, who I said can't shoot at all? What's his real combat skill?
I'm rocking 6.
Like a 6.
6 in firearms.
Okay, so you guys know how to make ubiquity characters, right?
Yeah.
6 in firearm plus like 2 or 3 from the gun is 8. It's not bad, right?
Okay, yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the thing that we have learned about how it's like you don't actually have to be good at guns because the gun is good for you.
Yeah.
Right.
You just
No,
have
that's
to have some skill. A little bit helps.
Not
right?
now. I mean, the fact that I'm rolling like 13 dice for the shotgun really doesn't mean anything.
Oof.
That's-
Oh, it's gonna come in handy.
Huh?
It's gonna come in handy. Yeah.
okay.
You know, Colt took out the Spider Woman in one go, so
Yep.
you know that certainly helped.
Well, and I mean, I get the feeling that we could be taken out in one go. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Any of us could be.
It goes kind of both ways. Yeah.
I have to admit to something is about the period, which is, or rather the setting, which is the names make it really hard for me to actually remember the names of the characters. This is
Right.
something which I've never experienced in role playing games.
Wait,
Really?
what do you mean?
Well, like, okay, so there's just I don't know. It's kind of it's a bunch
Just
of
normal names,
I mean,
right?
I know that Jose is playing Colt.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
That's what I mean. But I actually I'm really fuzzy. I know somebody's named Stan. I think it's Dell's character.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it just takes a couple of sessions, I think, because by now it's I just
Yeah, and
looked them up like a few minutes before play, and it's like Stan and Jerry and Ethan.
This is how I keep up.
Oh,
Yep,
that
yep,
that helps.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
I got one of those.
I
got
got the
one of
same
those.
note off on my third screen.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about it is the last guy is called, I got Richard Nice, Stan Leeds, Ethan Radcliffe, and Jerry next to Roy.
Next to Roy.
As if he was standing next to Roy, because I have no idea how he spells that.
Well, let me explain that last name. And back in the day,
Oh,
my father and I worked for this place, and it was at a Ramada Inn. Okay, and there was this place, the restaurant in the middle of it was called the Hannes's Oyster House, and then they changed it, and they had a contest to see what would be the new name of the place, and somebody wanted with Fairgrounds, like FARE grounds, like how you know funny. But next to the Ramada Inn was a Roy Rogers. And so my father, his entry was next to Roy's, NEXTRA.
Nice.
And it almost won until somebody realized what he actually meant, and then they were really mad at him.
Next to
But it's not, it's like next to Roy's. Yeah, it sounds really trendy,
So I actually got the spelling correct.
You did. It's next to Roy. I actually looked, when I
thought it was like a Cajun name or something.
No, when I was choosing the first name though, I had looked around for my high school yearbook. I couldn't find it because I figured, well, that'd be perfect. But I looked at the 100 most popular names in the '80s, and that was one of them. But
nice
for boys and girls, I figured I got to choose like a normal '80s name.
Yeah. When I went to college, there seemed to be a lot of Gregs, James. What was the other one? And everybody went by Jay. So Jay was pretty popular too. I think that was it. Gregs. No, lots of Gregs and lots of Jays. Those were the really common ones.
Yeah. Now, not a lot of Ivans during the Cold War, I tell you. That was great. That was really great growing up with that name.
Oh, I can imagine.
It was awesome.
I got a cousin named Ivan, but it's different.
Right. No, I understand. But that was great. Worcester though, because I've driven through Worcester like a bunch of times in the '80s, and so I've been to the center multiple times. I've been past that Aku Islander, and I was envisioning the entire drive from Boston. I knew exactly what it looked like.
Yeah. Well, I saw Rush 2 nights in a row because we bought tickets for both nights, and I saw David Lee Roth and Poison. And they came together.
It was a nice little place.
Yeah.
Worcester Center. And then, but I'm looking at this place that we were in, and I'm also thinking it's like an old TB hospital. There's a bunch of them in New England. I used to work when one that got redone, like those little balconies outside, so people could freaking hack their
That's
lungs
kind
out,
of
but,
the thing that I had on my
Yeah, it looked like an old, probably an old TB hospital or mental institution, but probably a TB hospital.
Yeah.
I kind of like that vibe, but yeah, we got a good cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All
I
right.
like.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and fade out and